Okay. And yeah, Lauren, how are you? I don't know if you could hear me, but I see you here. So
Yeah, I'm here. I'm at my other computer today, so
uh-huh.
that's why I didn't know if we were gonna like show the updates for the illustration project and all the timeline and all that stuff. So I just came off my computer. That's why my video isn't on.
Okay. Do you have your work on there?
Yeah, that's why I came on here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at that right after this. Uh,
Okay.
okay. So let me kind of continue on. Um,
Fire. Get started with this item that comes in 10 different color combinations via the link in the description. Number 5, hand-drawn illustration. Minimalism brought with it such precision and order that now consumers are looking for visuals that break the convention. Hand-drawn features have become a highlight of modern illustration and, when paired with clean design, make for compelling compositions.
okay. So I'm going to, oops. I'm going to just back this up for a sec and just say that, you know, we were just talking about how we might be moving out of this minimalist kind of trend. We've had this going since actually the millennium, since 2000. And now's about the time when, you know, I feel a shift in design trends. I've been through design. I probably in my life have been through maybe, I would say about at least 2 or 3 design trend shifts. And they usually have happened, you know, once every 10 to 12 years or so. You start seeing a whole shift in things. A lot of things can change it, politics and war and all kind of stuff, as we've seen in graphic design history. But this is something here, hand-drawn art, that I'm seeing kind of a gravitation to, not only in what I'm seeing, but also in the interest of young people. Young people are amazingly very interested in creating things by hand. That's how we used to do it back in the day. But maybe it's this idea of growing up with computers and mice and pads and, you know, all of the technology that we have, and saying, well, you know, there's still some kind of tactile thing that's missing. And, you know, when you pull out paint and markers and pencil and you shade and you use pressure and all of that stuff, and you know, it's kind of this one type thing, you know, it's this one-off thing. If you make a mistake, you're screwed. You know, it's not like you could just erase and, you know, redo and undo and all of that. So it kind of gives your brain a little bit more to think about. And, you know, I don't know if that's psychologically what's behind all of it, but it is kind of interesting. And I think that we might be seeing more of this in the future, in the near future. It's funny, real quick, my brother-in-law, he's about 3 years older than me, told me a long time ago when we made the transition from doing graphics on the board to the computer. I was trying to explain to him one night what computer graphics was all about, and, you know, all these software programs like Photoshop. And he was really not understanding it, but he understood the concept of computer graphics. And he said, well, you know, maybe one day, you know, the fad or the trend is going to be for a big corporation to have their logo hand drawn again, you know? And I just looked at that and I told him, I said, Kenny, I said, never in a million years, you know, is that going to happen? And yet, who knows, you know? I mean, we're going back to this analog kind of thing. I see it in music. I see it in art. So anyway, just comment on that.
And when paired with clean design, make for compelling compositions. Take a look at the illustrations MailChimp are championing for their brand now. They're a far cry from the original Freddy mascot logo we saw earlier. To incorporate this type of design in your own creative projects, check out the illustrations in these UX/UI design templates by Envato author Suparaka. You'll find a link to each item in the description below. In 2020, designers will be spending time lifting their ideas off the 2D page, as 3D illustration provides a comprehensive way to express complex ideas, blurring the boundaries between digital and physical worlds. The creative team at Pitch,
I don't know if you've ever seen this. Have you ever seen these people that do this? These photorealistic illustrations? I
Yeah,
mean, they're all, what's that?
they're really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, they're all time lapse and it makes it look like, oh, wow, you know, they did that pretty quick. But I don't know how many hours they put into that. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at that stuff, it's just absolutely amazing. Um,
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm totally blown away by that.
between digital and physical worlds. The creative team at Pitch, a presentation software manager, uses 3D illustration to digitally demonstrate their brand personality on their website. Get the look with thousands of 3D renders available on Envato Elements, like these ones. Jump across to see more via the link below. The 90s are back in more ways than one. Not only have we started to embrace 90s fashion once again, design is also borrowing from the colourful geometric era. Think Saved by the Bell style, colours and patterns. For example, the magazine Private Suite uses 90s geometric styling throughout. Incorporate some 90s flair into your designs with this set of geometric patterns by Themefire. The link to this item is in the description below. Japanese influence continues to grow in many areas of art, and kawaii, think Hello Kitty, is a major part of this movement. Kawaii means cute in Japanese, and the designs that take on this trend's conventions, giant eyes, rounded shapes, and simplistic features, certainly produce a final product that is just that. Take a look at this real-life design example from Natsuki, a Japanese restaurant. To include some kawaii cuteness in your projects, check out this animal illustration set on Envato Elements. You'll find a link to this item in the description below. The final trend on our list today is isometric designs. Enduringly useful in infographics, landing pages, and presentations, isometric design is a trend that will continue to hold up through 2020. Take Isometric City by Urban City Lab, featured on...
This is something that I'm seeing a lot, isometric design. It's just filled, Google is just filled with images like this. And very briefly, isometric design is a very architectural type drawing. It's parallel lines that go back into space. So unlike perspective, you don't have vanishing points. These are all, and it's very unrealistic. When you look at this building, it's really out of proportion. I mean, not out of proportion, but it's, you know, the perspective isn't there. It doesn't look real. It's obviously, you know, a stylization. But this is just, you know, a trend. Again, it's one of these trends that, you know, we're seeing. I don't know how long this is going to last, but very popular.
On the hands, for example. Delivering a 3D look without actually being 3D, isometric shapes have no converging perspective lines, but retain the simplicity of flat design. Perfect for a more corporate look and feel, this style allows you to show more details with less clutter. If this design style is up your alley, check out this vector web banner from Envato Elements author Boyko Pictures via the link in the description. That does it for the illustration trends that you'll be seeing more of in 2020. If this video was helpful, don't forget to like it below so we know to keep producing more content like this. And
okay, so I'm going to stop this. This was obviously a video that was put out by Envato, which is a stock illustration company. So they want you to go to their site and pay their membership fee and have access to free stock, to their stock illustration. But more so than that is just the idea of showing trends of 2020. And like I was saying in the beginning, very important for us to be aware of trends in every aspect of graphic design, whether it's illustration, photography, color, typography, everything. And that is very important to clients and not necessarily interesting to all designers. We all have our likes and dislikes. Personally, the style of illustration today, to me, I would gag on, but That's just me. I would certainly do that if a client was wanting that kind of work. And that's how we make a living. So we can't just ignore that. Okay, the next thing is just some resources very quickly on accessing illustration. You can find many resources, and there's a lot more than what I'm going to show you, but here's an article here that talks about 13 places to find beautiful free illustrations. And I kind of like to make this, relevant to a lot of designers and beginning designers, like, even myself, that, am I going to pay hundreds of dollars to an illustrator to do a work? Well, unless I have a client that's able to afford that. But the reality is, in many situations, that no, illustration is not something that clients really want to invest in. So our other option is to go for stock illustration. Well, stock illustration, as I'll show you when we go to Getty Images, is very expensive, extremely expensive. But there are a lot of freebies out there, and they're not nearly as good as, going to a Getty or Envato or something like that. But you can still get some decent stuff. So in this article here, he talks about, and these are actually the style of a lot of what we're seeing. So it's kind of relevant in terms of illustration style. He talks about sites like Open Doodles and Humans. And anyway, let's go down here to this right here, Open Doodles. Now, they don't give a lot of content here. But if I clicked on Open Doodles and we open that up, we can see that these are all freebie downloads. Now, I don't know where you would use these, how you would use them, but there's always a use for, maybe a certain kind of, comical illustration that you need really quick, for a page. Obviously, if this is free, there's quite a few other people that are using this, so it's not exclusive rights. You don't have exclusive rights by any means, but it does what it's supposed to do. And in many instances, this is, this fills the bill. You're not going to sit there and spend hours just creating this yourself, even though you think, I could probably do this. You might want to just opt for something like this. And he goes on with, here's another page, Humans, which is kind of this type of, look. This is kind of interesting because you can take this illustration and you can change out, clothing and hairstyles and things like that. When you click on this, you will find that when you go to click the library, you'll find that, oh, it says, this site, it costs money to get this. But if you read the explanation down here, it says that basically all you have to do is enter 0 here. This is basically for a donation. Enter 0 here, say I want this, and they'll give you the whole library of this in the event that you're looking for human illustration in this flat art style. And so forth down the line. And I'll post this at the bottom of our Zoom meeting page for today. I'll post these links. Lots of other sites like this, this is one that says 13 places to find illustrations. There's one that says 16 places. There's one that says 20 places. And so, it's just a matter of searching out things, bookmarking them, and just kind of keeping them in your library in the event that you need stuff. And that they're royalty free. They're, free to use in commercial projects. That's really important because you don't want to get pinched for, copyright infringement, which companies like Getty will find you. They will find you if you use any of their images and Photoshop out their watermarks or whatever. But anyway, that takes us to Getty Images, which is probably one of the largest resources of stock imagery, including photography, probably first and foremost, and illustration. So if I type in just simply illustration here, well, I already did, so I have it here, people illustration, whatever, you can see that voila, you see this interesting trend of everything that we just saw on that video. This style of illustration, these isometric things. So if Getty has that on their opening pages of stock photography, you know that that is the trend. This is what people are buying from them. And it's a style that is happening now, all across the board. But it ain't cheap. And as we go down, and you can see there are, 100 pages of people illustration that you can choose from. But if you click on any one of these, and they seem to have come up with a universal price list of $500 for high-res images. Extra small, $50. But extra small is what, 547 by 316. So, that's only going to get you a 7.5 by 4-inch image at full resolution. Now this would be okay for maybe a website, something digital, but if you're printing anything in a brochure or something, this just ain't going to cut it unless, if you're using it big. So, I kind of went around and just kind of randomly looked at different types of illustration, like even these, okay, these little things right here, okay. Look at that, it's the same price. I mean, you're not going to pay $500 for a sheet of this, so no. This is not, advertising agencies might do this. They might, bill clients, mark them up 20%. Clients have zillions of dollars to spend on this, so they're going to do it. It's perfectly legal, and it's, you have all the rights to it. So I think this price is exclusive rights anyway, which means that, or exclusive usage, not exclusive rights. Exclusive rights is going to cost you way more than this. I mean, for you to be the only person out there to use that. If you hire an illustrator and you ask for exclusive rights to that illustration, then you're going to pay an arm and a leg for that. But for exclusive usage, for unlimited usage, that's probably what this price is for. Because usually in illustration, they're always, especially stock illustration companies, are always asking you how you're going to use it, how many times you're going to use it, what the viewership range is going to be. Is it international? Is it domestic? Is it local? Those type of things. And the price varies based on that. So if you're, using an illustration for, a local publication, Rancho Cucamonga or something, okay, that'll probably be the lowest price. But if it's going, across the United States in a magazine or internationally, then you're going to pay the premium price. And then how many times are you going to use that image? How many printings are, is it going to be used in? That kind of thing. So that's how their pricing structure basically works. And that's the same with photography too. But anyway, Getty Images. The nice thing about Getty though is that if you do have the budget, the nice thing is that you can really hone your search and get pretty much, exactly what you want. It saves a lot of time. And what's really popular too, another style is this, Facebook is doing this with their kind of avatars. But it's this kind of, look. This is a little too simplistic, but you've seen that look. Everyone was doing it on Facebook, that type of, I'm just going to go to the next page here. I think I saw some in here that were like that. Yeah, anyway. But that's a very popular look that we're seeing. Yeah, now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Okay, anyway, it's that kind of Facebook avatar look, you know, you can turn your face into something that represents your personality or whatever. Okay, so that is that. I got all these tabs that came out because of that. The next thing is Envato. There's a company called Placeit here that's owned by Envato, or this site here. And this I thought was kind of an interesting site. It's called Placeit, and they have mock-ups, they have designs, logos, and things. And I thought, wow, this is, you know, you can start with, let's say, a logo, and you can come in and change the, you know, the type, make it, you know, whatever you want. And it kind of conforms itself to that look. You can move it around. You can change an illustration here. Maybe this says, you know, maybe this is a badge you're creating for the Platt College graduation. You can change out type fonts here. You know, maybe it says, you know, graduation, and so forth. And you can maybe kind of create a look based on a template here. Now you can see the watermarks here because you're going to have to pay for this. But let's say you don't want to pay for it. I mean, let's say, you know, you're going to make this up yourself. But let's say you want to throw this over to a client and just get an approval of if you're in the right direction or not, you know. So I might even take a screenshot of this, and I might send it over to, you know, the powers that be at Platt College. And, you know, let's say I say, well, you know, I'm thinking of doing something like this. What do you think? And they go, yeah, you know, we really like that. Okay, so now you're going to do this in Illustrator or InDesign or whatever, but you're using this site to kind of create mock-ups, you know, quick, different ideas. You know, you can quickly change shapes, and, you know, how long would this take you to do in, you know, in Illustrator or in Photoshop, right? I mean, you could just quickly change out text and find a template that you like and so forth. So anyway, you kind of get the point. We're using this site more as a mock-up type thing, and then we're going to actually create this ourselves. So it makes the process of decision-making faster for you. You could send over 5 or 6 of these ideas in a matter of an hour and get a decision made. You know, you don't have to create all this stuff. So that was another thing that I thought of. And then, of course, mock-ups. You guys have used mock-ups before. But a lot of these mock-ups are illustrations. They're actually illustrations that you're, you know, kind of really highly rendered illustrations that you're actually coming into and putting graphics on. You know, this is obviously an illustration of a sardine can, and then you put your mock-up on here. So maybe that is what you're needing for a project. And this is, we think of these as mock-ups, but we can also think of them as illustrations that we can incorporate into our graphics. So I've used these things for several ideas, and these are all free, you know, Mockup World. If you just type in Mockup World, it's the first thing that comes up in a Google search when you type free mockups. It always takes you to Mockup World. And, you know, lots of categories and things you probably used. Have you used mockups from here, from this site at all? Well, this is definitely one to bookmark. You know, if you're doing any kind of packaging, you know, there's some fairly good mock-ups on here. I've used this for my other class. And I've also used, you know, I use, we did a dog food packaging assignment for my other class once, and I used a package here, and we just did graphics for dog food companies. That was the project. So these could be bottles for all kind of different things. You just have to look. Shopping bag designs, lots of shopping bag designs and packages, and these are really good, these package mock-ups. My sister-in-law actually asked me to do a design for a package that she's thinking of creating, some granola that she wants to sell at a farmer's market type thing. So she wanted a design for that. So Mockup World is another place. And so just, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about and share this morning in terms of illustration and kind of how we would use it as graphic designers. So throughout this module, I think we talked about, the idea of creating it yourself, hiring it out, purchasing it from sites, art directing it in case you are working with an illustrator, and then just choosing whether or not illustration is something that is needed for your project. And we talked earlier in the module about how certain things have to be told with illustration. I mean, they just have to, because they don't exist photographically, or photographs just wouldn't do justice to that communication. There's so many different types of illustrations, and everyone is specializing in a certain type of illustration. So it really depends, in the end, it really depends on, do you have a client that has, the means to hire out for this? But now you should have resources for finding it. And I think that's the most important part for a graphic designer, is to be able to, know where to go to get what you need for this. And I don't know, I keep, which might not have any relevance to you, but for me and my generation, we had to do things just so differently. We had to find these people. I mean, we didn't have this giant resource of information, the internet, to track down and find all these styles. And we had these big, thick books, illustration books. And you go through that, and they'd all the illustrators had agents. They work for artist agencies, and you'd have to deal with the agency. If you wanted to hire an illustrator, you would talk to their rep, and you would go through the rep, you would negotiate with them, you'd set a price, and then they would contact the illustrator, who would then in turn contact you. And whatever you did, whatever you asked them to do, had to go through that agency. And for an illustrator, you hate to see an agency take 20% of what a client's going to pay you. But without that agency, you're just not going to get the bookings on your own. So it's like a talent agency. It's like a sports, all sports athletes have agents, and you just need them to negotiate for you. And it's nice in the respect that you don't have to do all of that stuff. You get a call from your agent, and they say, we got a job for you. Here's the number, give them a call. Next thing you know, you're working. So same is true in graphic design in terms of, agencies to find you work. That's something that we'll discuss in a marketing class, but that's also an option. Okay, so Lauren, what I was mentioning to Chris in the beginning was that this is going to be the last Zoom meeting for commercial illustration, because we are going to take off on next Monday, because it's Labor Day. And then Tuesday is the end of the module. So Tuesday will be the day that your illustrations will be due. So you have from now until then to finish those off. So with that, would you like to show your work?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, you want to go first and
Yeah. Is just for the illustration?
yeah,
I don't know which.
where you're headed. I saw where you were before.
Yeah. So on the left is the original, and then the right is where I made the changes.
Yes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Much better. Much better. Fantastic. Yeah, the mouth looks better. That left eye looks better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kept the shape of the eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the original shape, but I just didn't make it so like dark in that section.
Uh-huh.
So I just made them two different pieces.
That is fantastic. Hey, do you mind if I took a screenshot of this real quick, show Carly?
Sure. No problem.
I'm gonna just do that right now. You don't mind? Okay.
I'm gonna actually get it printed and then frame it for my dad.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna hang it in his office.
That's
Just
fantastic.
That's real cool.
My dad, he just had knee surgery a couple days ago, so he's
Mhm.
like on the couch bored, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to frame this and give it to him, give him something to be happy about.
Now, how long did it take you to, or let me ask you this. If I were someone that wanted you to create something like this for me, and I gave you a photograph, how long would it take you to do now that you've done this? And it always is faster the second time.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be faster the next time.
Mhm.
It really, honestly, it didn't. The thing that took me a little longer was adjusting the photo. I feel like because I was trying to get it to the right, like I was trying to make it. I was trying to edit it to the right point where I can actually separate like the light parts from the dark parts.
Mhm.
But I actually did it all in one night. It didn't take
Wow.
me long. I think maybe it took me like 3 hours.
Mhm. Did you enjoy doing this?
Yeah, I did actually. It was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. And I have another black and white photo of my wife's great grandfather, and
Mhm.
it's black and white and it's completely clear. So I want to do that one next. Just
Oh, great. Yeah, I was going to say, and I don't know if, you'd want to do this or not, but, just as a, from a marketing aspect, you can package this as if you come up with a price on doing something like this, this could be something that maybe people would pay for. I really think that, I was just saying that my sister-in-law was wanting to create a package for a package for granola that she's making, and she wanted an illustration of her, and she wanted it kind of in a fun way, and she didn't want to use a photograph of her. And, this is just perfect, She wanted it a little more kind of, I don't want to say cartoonish, but, a little more comical, kind of
Yeah.
like a Judy Jetson type thing, from the Jetsons. But yeah, I totally think that something like this could definitely sell. And this is just much more representative of, look at this photo right here. That's it,
Yeah,
there's a likeness there. There's a
this was
great
actually
likeness.
the original.
Yeah, this is not taking this photo and creating an avatar on Facebook, those don't look real, they're like,
Mhm.
but something like this could be a logo that you know, a logo or some kind of package design, or, you know, I mean, if I had this, and what's nice about these is that they hold up really well when they're
Yeah.
small.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I think like the lines, you can see the lines clearly in the first picture.
Mhm.
But then once I did the editing, they kind of start fading out.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard to follow. And I know I could have just made it up, but this one here is where I put in those lines, but I feel like when I make the picture smaller, they do disappear a little bit. So that's
Mhm.
probably
Yeah.
my only downfall here on this one.
Yeah, this might just go to white.
Yeah, I might end up just changing it to white,
Hmm.
but I just wanted a little bit of texture in there for the project. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Here's another little, I'm just in looking at this, just another little thing is that you see this black line that comes in here. Can you see my mouse? No,
no.
you can't see it. Okay. Underneath his neck, okay, on the right side, when we're looking at the right side of his neck, you can see this little black line that looks like it's defining his chin or his jawline.
Uh-huh.
And then it comes down and it kind of curves off to the right, very straight, right?
Are you talking like this area here?
Yes, yes. And see, as you come down, as you move down, okay, kind of come down that angle,
Oh,
down
this
his
part
jawline.
here.
Yeah. And right down below his chin, you see that curve right there. See that? No, down a little further. As that comes down, bring your mouse down. Yeah. See that curve right there?
Uh-huh.
And see how it comes angle straight? I wonder if you took this black line as it's coming off of his chin and you kind of wiggled it a little bit as it comes down. So it
Mhm.
doesn't look like it's, you know, that's what I'm kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But that's what I'm kind of seeing right here. It almost looks like it's too sharp. This line is too straight as
Oh,
it
I see.
angles
I see
into
what
his
you're saying.
collar. You
Yeah.
know, it almost is like if it came down underneath his chin and then kind of squiggled down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Instead of just being straight across.
Yeah, instead of just being hard like that, straight across. And
Okay.
that might make it look more like a shadow
Okay.
than a shape. Because right now it almost looks like a color of some kind, but I know it's not. I know it's the black here that's the shadow,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
but I don't know. I just,
Yeah, I can try that. I can try to fix that a little bit.
yeah,
See how
yeah.
it comes out.
I'm going to try and show you on the screen here what I'm talking about. So you have this shadow coming in like, okay, I don't know if you could see this, but here's his
Yeah, I can see it.
here's his jaw, and that line comes down like this, and a little squiggle or something, you know, instead of that really harsh, straight line that you drew right there.
Uh-huh.
If it just kind of does something like that, a little more natural.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But anyway, I think it's great. I think it's great. I mean, now, were you going to play around with any kind of color, or are you going to keep it? I can't remember what you said.
I tried to mess around with the color a little bit, but
Mhm.
I feel like, I don't know, I really liked just the black and gray.
Mhm.
It felt
Yeah.
like it was a little bit more tiny, you
Mhm.
know? Like, I don't know. I felt like it felt more old school just leaving it the
Yeah,
gray,
okay.
white, and black.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I tried like the gray portion.
Uh-huh.
I tried putting it in like a blue, almost like this color on my desktop here, like
Mhm.
a lighter blue. But I feel like it was a little too harsh for some reason.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. Couple other things real quick, and I don't know if I'm seeing, I give it a little bit more headroom on the top here, if you can extend that white a little bit because it's touching the top of his head right there.
Oh, this one here, up here.
Yeah. And in photography, you know, we always try and avoid that. That's a tangency that the eye goes to, especially when the top of the head is touching. You can crop in on hair. That's fine. You can always cut hair off. You can even cut a face off from the top. But when it's absolutely tangent to the top, you either want to go up on it a little bit or come in on it a little bit.
Okay.
And then also on your left side here, that little bit of white in there.
Yeah, this on the right here, and then also I just realized this hair on the
Yeah,
left.
yeah. Just
fill
make
that
that
out.
solid black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work fine. Okay, really good. Real good. Chris, you got something?
Yeah, let me, hold on. Share screen.
Ah, I love it. That's awesome. I'm going to take a skip out of this. Can I?
Yeah. It's not done. I just realized some stuff, but
I love this, man. That's great.
yeah, there's some shading that I still haven't. I realized I forgot to put in there.
That is fantastic.
And then I feel like the hair on the top is a little too dark, so I might use like a dark gray instead.
And I'm looking at you in the thing right here, and that is you right there. That is so you. It looks just like you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. I love, you know, it's these little things like the little highlight in the glasses up here.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to put a little bit more of, like more little highlights. And I think with the beard, I might make little changes, or like the mustache area, because in the photo, like right here in the mustache area, it's a little bit lighter.
Okay.
And then I forgot this area above the right below the eyebrow. There's some shading in there that I deleted because I was trying to reshape it, and I forgot to put it back in. But just little stuff like that I want to just make changes to, and maybe put more shine like in the glasses, like over here.
Yeah.
So, but
And I really like the little white space that you left in the left side of the glasses. Inside the glass.
right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
That really works well too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I think
that's your that is your profile picture till forever.
Yeah, I might definitely use that as like a logo or something.
Yeah, that's you, man. That is you. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you guys did this.
Yeah, it was fun.
Me too. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You guys, yeah, this is awesome. Okay, well, go ahead and put the final touches on this. And boy, Chris, man, you could even add some typography too underneath this. And this could be this could be your total brand, man.
Yeah.
Something, you know.
Yeah.
Or put a shape behind it, you know, like a square or a circle that your head's popping out of, or something like that. You know, I mean, there's all kind of things you could do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like something that's on like a barbecue sauce bottle or something.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. Yeah.
This is barbecue.
Hey, there used to be a brand called Chris and Pitts. I'm not kidding you. When I was young, Chris and Pitts barbecue. That was like one of our favorite barbecue sauces. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, that would be fantastic to take this to another project. You know, it's like the illustration, and then now it's you know, it's do that, man. Do a barbecue label. That'd be fantastic. Man.
Yeah, or like a hot sauce or something.
Yeah, Chris's kick your ass barbecue or something. One of those.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I will see you one more time on on Wednesday.
Oh, can you put the
Okay.
submit button on the illustration project assignment?
Yes, I will. Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know. I wasn't
yeah.
sure
I
if you
didn't.
were
I
actually
didn't publish
submitting
it yet.
or if we were just showing you.
Okay. Yeah, I do have it written up, but I didn't publish it yet, so I will do that.
Okay.
Okay, you guys.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Take this off.
All right.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
All right.